We have been sworn to secrecy not to discuss anything that took place at this meeting. I thought I was here to discuss something about the Crossroad Board meeting.
Well, briefly, Mr. Lipscomb, the controversy surrounding DLSP right now and the lack of a director, is that going to be resolved anytime in the very near future?
We have, as I said before, Mr. McIntyre, we have been sworn to secrecy at this meeting not to even discuss it. I thought we were going to discuss the Crossroad Board issue.
Right.
That's why I've surrounded myself with these beautiful members.
All right, on another point, is it mandatory, the next director of DLSP, that he be either brown or black?
No comment. The city has lied all along. No, they have lied. They knew about the January 21st ruling that they made. It was approved by the city council. And after those racist men sitting there saw the composition of the board, they changed the rules. They make their laws and they break their own laws. And the taxpayers of Dallas see the caliber of men that you have representing them, and they should shudder.
It's a case of trying to keep our people informed of changes brought about by recent decisions in the courts so that we can understand them. Many of the men who are attending today here and who will be coming back for the other 3 Saturdays are men who perhaps don't try criminal cases as often or as regularly as we do here in a metropolitan area. They may only, say, have 3 or 4 criminal trials a year in their particular small county seat. And it's good for them to come and listen to our people from our office who full-time, day in and day out, do nothing but just try criminal cases. They just go from one trial to another. And they get rather experienced at what to do and what it takes today to meet the requirements in court.
Mr. Kelly, why is it necessary to build an additional turnpike when there's already one turnpike and a new Interstate 20 highway planned for completion by 1974?
Well, what this report shows is there's going to be a tremendous need for an additional corridor between Dallas and Fort Worth to handle approximately 200,000 cars a day between now and 1974. Now, that 200,000 cars a day is a tremendous volume of vehicles, and that's in addition to what can be handled on 80, 183, and the new Interstate 20. So the only facility available to handle this additional traffic is the Dallas-Fort Worth Turnpike, and it's about reaching capacity at approximately 90,000 cars a day presently.
If you've been wondering what's going to happen in Midnight Saturday when Phase 2 of the President's economic package goes into effect, then join the crowd. There are people supposedly in the know who are not too sure exactly what is going to happen. News conferences are being held almost daily between Dallas-Fort Worth and Washington, D.C. And, of course, in all other parts of the country, as members of the Internal Revenue Service, the Office of Emergency Preparedness, administration officials, and you name them, try desperately to work out all the fine details. For the first 90 days of the President's wage and price freeze, the Office of Emergency Preparedness, normally a very small arm of the administration, has been handling all the phone calls and the complaints. But now, it's in the hands of the Internal Revenue Service, or at least it will be starting Monday. Within the guidelines issued and to be issued by the Cost of Living Council, headed up by Treasury Secretary John Connolly, the Price Commission, and the Pay Board, the Internal Revenue Service will act on request for interpretations of the law and on appeals of any determinations that might be adverse to your interests. In addition, the IRS will continue to provide information to the public, investigate complaints, and will monitor compliance with those stabilization guidelines. The IRS will handle enforcement activities in connection with the largest segment of the economy. That would be those 83% of the businesses not required to report their increases to the Pay Board or the Price Commission. The IRS is also to conduct fact-finding investigations for the Board and Commission. Now, do you understand it? That's what I thought. Starting Monday, Phase 2 could very well be just as confusing as Phase 1. At the Federal Courthouse in downtown Dallas, this is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move.
CNS has consistently worked solely for this purpose. That is to ensure that not a single child will be forced to attend a school outside his own neighborhood. Our one goal now is to persuade our congressman to sign the discharge petition to get the Lent Amendment to the Constitution on the House floor for a vote. The Lent Amendment states that no public school student shall, because of his race, creed, or color, be assigned to or required to attend a particular school.
I received a phone call from Daytona Beach, Florida, that the federal mediator had advised the union and the company that an extension had been agreed upon to noon Friday, November the 19th. That if there would be a work stoppage, it would be at that time.
On what basis are you going to appeal this to the courts?
Well, on constitutionality, where it affects, they're restricting his rights to freedom of choice to get married. And I think that's where the main issue is. Also, it's discriminatory. Those will be my main topics.
What could Johnny have had the school board not decided he couldn't enlist in extracurricular events?
He could have had a football scholarship to a major college. I'm sure of that because he's made all district last year. He's had a letter from SMU already referring to interest in him in his activities as a quarterback.
The question of thoughts has not been rejected by the Egyptian government. It is the Israelis who have continuously refused to have any kind of indirect discussions under the sponsorship of the United Nations or any other third bodies.
Some people can only use the Fort Worth Public Library on the weekends. Those people have been concerned that the facility may start closing on Sundays because of a staff shortage. Happily, though, the Library Board has ruled that for the time being at least, the library will remain open all weekend on its present schedule. The city is not out of the woods yet, however. Unless additional funds can be found to fill the vacant staff positions, operations could be restricted in the future, especially on weekends. At present, Library Board members and city officials are looking into the possibility of using county funds obtained through the Federal Emergency Employment Act. If Tarrant County can be made a co-sponsor of the city library system, all staffing problems would be alleviated. But those problems are not going to force the library to shut down on Sundays, at least not for the time being. The Fort Worth City Council is scheduled to pursue another weighty problem on Monday concerning a municipal facility. That report, here's Jay Lewis.
It looks as though the proposed zoo admission charge will be discussed, but not decided at the Fort Worth City Council meeting Monday. As you remember, the Park and Recreation Department stirred up a hornet's nest last week when members recommended a $1 gate charge for the Fort Worth Zoo. Since then, reaction has been hot and heavy, with most of it composed of protest against the proposal. The issue is not on the City Council agenda for Monday, although the Park Department is reportedly sending information to councilmen. Despite the issue's unofficial status, the council chambers should be packed with citizens, most of whom are expected to speak out against the fee. It's possible that should enough conflict develop, the council could take action. That action might decide the issue, but more probably, the council will order further study of the need for a gate charge. I'm Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
Because politicians are funny, they have a way of forgetting. You have to keep pounding and pounding and pounding to put a point across. And I think busing has become a very political issue.
And that everyone would continue to work